We are back to our show, Sunshine. I hope you enjoyed. You see about the takeoff segment about the Mediterranean Ocean. It's very amazing ocean and a big one. If you like to do traveling, go there and check it with the boats and even in the yacht and even in the ship. See this amazing ocean, something beauty about Almighty Allah. Now let's go for our third interview segment for today. We speak now about our colleagues, engineers, design, evaluate, and even solving a problem. This is the most important thing, solving the problem. And modify the install and inspect. And maintain the wide variety of products and even the systems. So let's welcome today to talk more about this amazing journey of the engineers. So we sell engineer, we call it Tarek Abdelwahab. He's a civil engineer. Hello and good morning.
Hello, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
You're most welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. So today, I already talked to you off air. During the rest time, we talk about your amazing journey to be a civil engineer, to be an entrepreneur, and you have your own company. So I want you to tell to the viewers when you come to your second country, Kuwait.
I arrived to Kuwait in 1993. So that's about, it was 28 years ago. I was still fresh.
Yeah. Freshman engineer.
Freshman engineer. And I started working as a civil engineer. Then I graduated in my work and became a senior engineer, then general manager, then CEO of one of the well-known construction companies.
Nice, and we are very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned the steps from the senior engineer to the CEO of one of the construction companies, because this is engineers' dream about their journey.
Yes.
To be, like we call it in Arabic, Kabir al-Muhandisin.
Yes.
So the head of the engineer. This is the high rank.
Yes.
So this is amazing journey.
Yes.
But now become from the engineer and the field engineer and the construction company as a civil engineer from the she-force and bending moment diagram.
Yeah.
And now you're becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So tell me about the steps of this journey to have until you have your own company.
Yes. You know, to reach the top, you have to go through the different stages. At the beginning, I was employed at the same company that I'm now a partner in and a CEO. We started gradually. It was a very old company. It's one of the oldest companies in Kuwait, but they were working with a certain profile. Then I had a vision of starting, I have to go with the market, you know. So I started to put new ideas. We started to expand, and gradually we expanded until I also, you know, I come from Egypt. So I found that there is now a revolutionary in the construction field there. So I wanted to take a role in the construction of this lovely country. So we started gradually until now we are.
And this is your second country, state of Kuwait, and you are our brothers and friends from the Republic of Egypt. So you see, you mentioned here you are more than 20 years in Kuwait.
Yes.
So you're more than 20 years in Kuwait, and there's like a revolution in the buildings. Too many things change. So until this experience, wonderful journey from senior engineer to a CEO, how do you see the change of the buildings, the constructions, the materials? Tell me more.
You want to ask about what the
from the beginning until now
in Kuwait?
Yes.
Of course, there is also here a revolutionary change in the construction field. When I arrived to Kuwait, it was like the small buildings, small markets. Now what you are seeing is something amazing. The malls, the high-rise buildings.
And even in the capital, Kuwait City.
Yes, of course. It has dramatic change in the Kuwait City. It was like few small buildings, now high-rise buildings and towers. And so it's complete change.
And also we appreciate the efforts of the public and also the private sector to make this thing, the contribution, collaborate together to make this amazing achievement.
Of course.
So because you're already part of the construction companies and you're working here more than 20 years and you are part of some of the governmental places. So tell me about your experience, what about the governmental places you already inspected?
Yes, our company has enrolled in many of the governmental.
And this is Kuwait
projects.
Airport also.
Yes, this is Kuwait Airport. This is the one of my
Projects?
favorite projects that I've executed. It's you know, the Kuwait Airport was like it's an old building since the late 70s. So they had to expand this building. So we have added new gates from the beginning at the end of the old terminal, and then we have combined all these extra buildings in a mega structure. We call it a mega steel structure project. That it takes the shape of this airplane that is nowadays we are using. You know, this project was really challenging because it took 3 years with an operating airport. It's a very busy airport.
And you cannot also, you cannot make people not take off, not doing their work, because you are working and people like
so
working.
We were working day and night with many challenges.
Yeah.
We work with different ministries. We work with Ministry of Interior, with the Ministry of Defense, with National Guard, with the Ministry of Electricity and Water, with the Ministry of Education, Kuwait University, mostly every governmental department here.
And this is, you already mentioned the Kuwait University.
Yes, this was the Kuwait Library for students in Chuweikh campus.
So you are one of the part of the most important buildings in Kuwait.
Yes. When we have the pleasure to do this, because you know my company has certain standards. We always look to do our work to a high standard, and time management also.
Nice. So it's like we appreciate that you are with us today. And you already say we appreciate the work, so we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you so much.
And all the people and all the public and also the private sectors you are working with.
Yes.
So let's talk about an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur already. So let's talk about something, the glimpse. I know you cannot tell us more, but we are eager to know.
Yeah.
It's exclusive for our Sunshine Show about the building tenders.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like, I know engineers, people working in the fields don't know about the disk working, how the disk is working. Tell me about the building tenders.
The building tenders. The building tenders needs a huge arrangement before you bid for a tender. Of course, you have to be a member of CAPT, which is the Central Agency for Public Tenders. We are a second-degree registered company. So first you buy the documents, or whatever the tender goes. This is the this is the official tenders, but also the private sector. It's somehow around this things. First you buy the tenders, then you get the documents, and you start studying the specifications, and you start putting your prices, and break down your prices so that you get the best price you can get. This takes a lot of effort, because you have to study all the drawings. You have to bring, sometimes there's special items that you have to bring quotations from the local market. Then once you gather all these information, you are ready to put your price. The price should be two parts.
Which are?
The technical part that has to be
in the project?
Yeah, and the financial part.
Okay.
Once you go this, you submit your tender, and the tenders are opened and they are studied.
Nice.
Once the price is the lease price, and your technical papers are included, then you can win a bid.
Nice.
Now, it turns from the name of a tender to a contract.
So from the tender to be official contract?
Yes.
So you have to prepare a huge effort, like a couple of months, to prepare for the financial, and also...
It depends. Sometimes they don't give you the choice, because sometimes the tenders has a bidding date. Of course, I forgot to tell you that there's a very important thing. You have to put a bank guarantee with your tender.
For sure, yes.
Yes, so that you guarantee that.
Everything is already ready.
Yes.
So before we continuing, now we'll talk about the construction building.
Yes.
You spoke about the tender, but there is something I want to ask you as an engineer.
Yes.
It's not included in the papers.
Yes, yes, it's
So
okay.
I'd like to greet our working group, the preparer Salim and Hajar, and also Dalia, and also Bashar.
Yeah.
So we'll talk, well, also the directors also, and all the working crew. So let's talk about, we call it, when I go anywhere in our beloved country, state of Kuwait,
Yes.
I see this building, I see, this is a hospital. This is also, we call it a university.
Yeah.
When I ask about civil engineers, they told me this, we call it the building codes.
Yeah.
Code al-Bina, building
Yes,
codes.
yes.
So building codes is like specified for some of the buildings.
Yes.
When you travel anywhere, you know this is university, this is a hospital.
Yes.
Can you tell me more in a brief about the building codes?
The building codes, they are special codes that it's like a book, like you open, I want to construct a school. For example, we had this experience with Ishbilia Elementary School with the Ministry of Education. We have done this school,
Yes.
which is beside.
Okay, in the Farwania government.
Yeah. So we started this from the beginning, from scratch.
Okay.
We had to make the design. Of course, we are not the specialists in the design, but we work with certified
codes.
Yes, and certified consultants.
Okay.
That do this job. So we had to work with this. Of course, you open the book, you see that this is a school. So for example, the classrooms must not be less than this by this.
This by this, like the numbers.
So the number is specific. If you want to make it more, it's okay. But you can't make it a less area.
Yeah.
The labs, the
halls, the courts.
halls, the football fields, basketball. Everything has the code that complies you to a certain area that you have to stick to.
Nice. So thank you for sharing this information. So the building code specified anything about the buildings.
Yes.
Even any people, he's not an engineer, he knows this building refers to something.
Yes.
So let's talk about the materials, about what types of the construction material used for the buildings now.
Yeah. Of course, the materials, they have variety of materials. It also depends on the budget.
Okay.
Whatever is your budget.
For the industrial engineers.
Yes, especially the private sector. If you are constructing a villa or a mansion or whatever, it depends. I ask you a question: how much is your budget? You tell me this is my budget, so I can fix this according to your budget. But the materials has variety. Nowadays, I see that which we call it. It's an aluminum composite panels, which is
Which are what?
Alcobond.
Alcobond. It's a new thing, a new type.
Yes, it's a new type that mostly they use it in the official buildings. Why? Because it gives the shape and different shapes, and you can do facades, different facades with less. Somehow it's cheaper than other materials. But the variety of other materials, it's a huge.
It's huge. It's dependent about your financial also.
Yes.
Financial consumption.
Yes.
So we talked about we call it the building codes. Now the materials, now something important.
Yeah.
After the zones, after we're applying the project, now it's time for give the project.
Yeah.
The ending.
Yeah.
So I know it's very difficult because you have to work all day by 24/7 to end the project. So in your point of view, as you're an expert in the construction building, so how does it take for building to finish the construction? How many the duration?
The duration.
Approximately.
Of course, the duration depends on the size of the project.
Project, okay.
Some projects, if it is like a in private sector, it might take from 6 to 8 months. And some of the other projects, as I mentioned before, the airport, this one, it took 3 years. Some projects takes 5 years. It depends upon the area of the project and the built-up area, which gives you this
project.
Yes.
So see, we talk about too many things.
Yeah.
Now I will return you back before the tendering, before
Okay,
tender.
okay.
You already speak about the sketching, the drawings.
Yeah.
So I know every project have its own story.
Yeah.
Its own self, not the same.
Yeah.
If you want to build a villa, it's not about you building a school.
Yeah.
So tell me about the preparation, about the drawings, how it will take you, about the planning.
The planning, it differs also according to each project. If in the private sector, you just, as an individual, you go to a consulting office and you start doing the idea. They help you by drawing the idea. This is the architectural sector. If you have a certain idea in your mind, you just describe whatever you want, and they start projecting this idea on the drawings. And now there are, with the new technology, they can do a 3D modeling, and you can see your house or the building as a 3D. You start doing the necessary changes, what is in your mind, and then this is transferred to a paper, to a plan. Then we start taking our job from there to start executing this plan and doing the building. So
nice. It's a huge effort.
Yes.
So let's talk about now the working crews.
Yeah.
In any field, any construction building, there is a laborers, there is a foreman, there is an engineers.
Yes.
So if you want to build a villa, it's not about if you want to build a university.
Of course.
So tell me about how many people engineering involvement in villa, and even about the huge projects in approximate.
Yeah.
Numbers of people.
In a villa, you don't need more than one engineer, and sometimes it cannot be a full-time, because it's a small job. But this depends also on a good foreman. A foreman, superintendent, that he takes care of the job and everything to be done as a schedule. Now.
If you want to shift to something
go
big,
to a bigger project, no, it's another world. The crew, it might reach 4 or 5 engineers, and this is only civil.
Yes.
And then
there is
the electromechanical, which goes to the electrical engineer, and the mechanical engineer, firefighting engineer. It's
same like we call director, assistant director, and executive director.
Yes.
They do their job, and they will give it to you.
There is a project engineer, and there is a civil engineer, and there is someone who helps this civil engineer.
We call it like art director.
Yes, exactly. So, and also the crew, the laborers that work in a villa, 10, 15, to what reach thousands. Like in the Kuwait, the terminal T2 now.
Yes. It's a huge project.
It's a huge
project. Variety of engineers, variety of people, like in thousands.
It's, the laborers, they are about, what I've heard, that it's 8,000, 9,000, something like this.
And they are working 24/7 to accomplish the project.
Yes.
So see, we talk about a good journey about you.
Yeah.
Now we talk about the engineers, about the construction, about the building codes. Now let's talk about you.
Yeah.
We already heard about some of the projects you already attended in the Kuwait airport and the Kuwait University.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience. What is the best project you even constructed? About you now.
Yes, it's about me. I've started, especially me, or what in my company, what I feel.
It's about you.
Yeah.
Something about the governmental buildings.
I'll go again to the Kuwait airport, the T1, this project. It was very interesting. It was very challenging, It was
different of the kind.
It's one of a kind. I cannot tell you the adventures that we had. You have to dig a small pit. Then you find that there are cables connected down. So you have to make a shifting. So you have this a
problem arrange for another problem.
Whenever you solve a problem, you get another problem.
Yeah.
So to get it in a good way, that we had appreciation from the civil aviation authorities, it was a pleasure for me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure because you did an amazing job.
Yeah.
As an engineer, we know how many problems you already faced about something already, people there.
Yeah.
It's not like constructing building from the edge, from the scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
And so let's talk about something different. So
Yeah.
we have a very good journeys about the engineering fields, everything.
Yeah.
So people don't know about, we call sometimes an electrical engineer, why you don't fix a bulb,
Yeah.
a light bulb.
Yeah.
And the people, your parents in the home told you, why you don't put a bulb?
Yeah.
You are engineer, why you don't do this?
Yeah.
People don't know about the difference between the labor and engineer, even a designer.
Yeah.
And people sometimes misunderstood about the civil engineer and the designer. Can you tell the difference to the
Yes,
viewers?
of course. People always mix up between the architectural engineer and the civil engineer.
Yes.
I always say, they say, no, the architectural engineer is the one who builds. I say, no. No, 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 no. We keep on a debate about this. Let us be clear about this. The architectural engineer, he is the designer. He is the artist. He tells you that I want this building, for example, to have certain curves, to get a, certain shape. And once the design, we are the tailors that gets this design. I always.
And you apply it.
And we apply it. Also, civil engineer is not only about buildings. Civil engineer is about the infrastructure, bridges, tunnels, roads, all others that is related, other works that is related to construction. Civil engineers are the one that specialists involved in this part.
So see, our project finished already.
Yeah.
Our time finished. Good times run very fast. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome, and thank you for joining us. So all thanks to engineer Tarek Abdelwahab. He already a civil engineer, and now he has his own company. He's a CEO. Dear viewers, let's go to this tiny break. They will come back later.